What is up, Galaxians? Welcome to another episode of Galaxy CDs Rocks and Flips. If this is your first time stumbling on the channel, my name is Ryan, and I am a full-time reseller and part-time YouTuber, part-time podcaster, working out of my home here in the Batcave in the greater Cincinnati area, and this channel is all about the flip life. You've reached the midweek What's Sold on eBay recap edition, but before we get into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I think it's important that you pay attention to what's going on outside of your little corner of the reselling world. And I don't mean like globally or politically or what's going on in the world of sports, but I mean just within reselling. Over the last couple of weeks, there have been several things that have come up that seem to have caught a lot of resellers unaware. The first thing, and we talked about either last week or 2 weeks ago, was the new item specifics updates that eBay is requesting. They had posted about these seemingly several months ago, and I mentioned last week or whenever that other video was that they'd given us some tools to go in and kind of get this stuff updated, and it gave us a heads up that this was coming. And yet when it arrived, resellers were in total shock at what was going on. They hadn't prepared, they hadn't thought about it, they hadn't done anything. And I mentioned that I agree the timing of it is terrible going into fourth quarter. It's a really bad idea. It should have been done last quarter, but nonetheless, the information was out there that this was coming. And it's a remarkable number of resellers were caught completely off guard. Last week, Amazon Prime Day came up. If you're a seller on Amazon, you probably did really, really well. Amazon, as I mentioned in my podcast over the weekend, reported that their third-party sellers had a fantastic 2-day stretch during Prime Day last Tuesday and Wednesday. Non-Amazon sellers, however, weren't able to figure out why maybe their sales were down last week. Again, it's a matter of knowing your market and kind of paying attention to what's going on, maybe not necessarily even on your platform, but on reselling and retailing as a whole. So I think it's really important to pay attention to market trends and what's going on so that you can make the necessary adjustments, or at least so you don't panic and freak out about a couple of days that don't go quite like you expect. The last thing, this week, I believe it was on Sunday, the new temporary postal increase that's going to go through the holidays kicked in. And sure as I'm sitting here on Monday, people were blowing up Facebook in the various reselling groups talking about what is going on with these postage costs. Have your postage costs gone up? The price of a bubble mailer flat rate priority has gone up to $8.15 or whatever it is. And people were just, again, in total shock at these increased rates. There's a post on the eBay community boards going clear back to mid-August that has a table of all of these upcoming changes, the dates, everything you need to know about what's coming and why. And again, a tremendous number of resellers were caught completely unaware. That just can't happen in your business. It's going to cost you money. And not only that, obviously the frustration and the aggravation of thinking that, it's a new unannounced postal increase. This thing was published. It was available widely. When I did a Google search, when I started seeing these posts pop up on Facebook, I just Googled temporary USPS price increase, and I stopped scrolling after about 5 pages of news stories. I mean, it was literally everywhere. And yet a large percentage of resellers were caught completely off guard when the change took place. Had you known that this was coming, which you should have, because you should be paying attention to what's going on, particularly on something like this, you could have made some plans. You could have adjusted your pricing. You could have eliminated your free shipping. Whatever it was, you could have done some things leading into this week to prepare yourself for the change. But because some of us were not paying attention to what's coming up, we got caught with our pants down a little bit, and it cost a lot of us some money and some needless aggravation. So I don't want to get, too ranty and be up on my soapbox too much, but it's really important. Even if you're just a hobby seller, you should pay attention, watch YouTube shows like this where I do a news recap, on the weekend. I go over everything that I know that's coming up, where people are talking about things. Spend some time on eBay, looking around, do a Google search. I'm also amazed at the number of people who just show up and ask a question on a Facebook group that if you would just type that exact same question into Google, you would have gotten the answer immediately rather than waiting for someone within the group to respond. So that's my rant for the day. Let me know what you think. Were you caught out by the postal price increase that went on? Do you know how long it goes on? Do you know when it ends? All of that information is widely available. Were you aware or did you get caught out? No harm, no foul if you did. It happens. I get it. But I think it's important as a business owner, operator, as an entrepreneur, that you take some time to know kind of what's going on in your business, what's coming, and how it may affect you. So with that rant out of the way, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with what's sold on eBay. Welcome to this brief intermission and plea for help. If you're enjoying the show today, please do me a favor and smack that thumbs up button. If you're not already a subscriber and you're really enjoying the show, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe right now. And while you're at it, click that bell notification icon so that you get an update each time I do a new video. And if you really want to do me a solid, share this channel with all your reselling friends, put it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your TikTok, or whatever it is the kids are doing these days, and help us grow our community. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and now back to the show. And we're back. So let's take a look at some of the cool stuff that has left the galaxy here over the last week. First up, Rothenburg Markstrom, Germany. It's a hat pin, lapel pin. I picked this up at an estate sale clear back in probably February. This was pre-pandemic. I paid 10 whole cents for it. It's not a huge sale, $12.99 plus shipping, but that's a great return on investment for 10 cents. I picked this up amongst a whole bunch of other stuff that day. So this has been sitting around here for a while, and just out of the blue, somebody grabbed it. I'd frankly forgotten I even had it. This next item, again, not big money, $14.99 plus shipping. It was on sale for 25% off. It's a New York Jets knit beanie. Man, the Jets are arguably one of the worst teams. Sorry if you're a Jets fan and you're watching this, but man, you guys are terrible. But the fans are still fans. Somebody saw this, liked it, grabbed it. $14.99 plus shipping for this cool Jets beanie. Jets, 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 Jets. Maybe next year. That's what I've been saying as a Bengals fan for nearly 30 years. So I feel your pain, Jets fans. This next item, a CD, Splash Hits, new songs from the Disney's Little Mermaid TV series. This was in that big stash of CDs that I bought, so I own it for less than 4 cents. It sold for $18.99, free shipping. Really interesting piece. This was new in a package from the Disney TV show. I, to be honest, didn't even know there was a Disney TV show for The Little Mermaid, but I suppose why wouldn't there be? They make a show for everything else. This next item, we're going back into the Model Railroad magazines. If you've been following along for very long, you've seen different variations of these magazines over the years. These were from the 1950s. It's called the Whistle Stop magazine. It's about O-gauge model railroading. I had a lot of 10 of these up, had them on sale for 25% off, sold them for $37 with free shipping. I own them for about 8 cents a piece. These sold obviously for about $3.70 a piece, so that's a real nice return on investment as well. A little more music. The Little Ramblers, Truckin' with Cotton. This was on RCA Bluebird Records. It's an old 78. Picked this up in a big lot of 78s that I got for about 50 cents a piece several months ago. This was in my 15% off sale at the first part of the month. $20 plus shipping. So nice little sale. Hopefully makes it in good condition. I've switched how I ship 78s based on a video that I watched from a comment I made on another video that we did about shipping 78s and having a lot of them getting damaged. Leonardo, The Wilderness Adventure by Stephen Murphy. This is a 1993 paperback book, kind of a kid's middle school, probably reading book, out of print, fairly scarce. I had it listed for, I think, $19.99. I got an offer of $18.69, so I went ahead and took that. This was in a lot of books that I own for about 25 cents a piece, probably. So nice little flip. Here's a really old book, an original 30 Years a Detective by Alan Pinkerton. Yes, of the Pinkerton, the Western detective from 1884. This probably would have been worth twice that, but it was in really bad shape. It was all there, but the cover was kind of falling apart. Some of the pages were loose. They were really, really tanned. So it wasn't a great representative of this particular work. But because it was an original from 1884, I went ahead and listed it. I think I had it for $24.99 or best offer. I got an offer of $20 plus shipping. So I went ahead and sold that. I own this for 25 cents. Here's another one that I owned for 25 cents. These are both, probably several of these coming up will be from that big 2,500 book lot I did a few weeks back. Lafayette in America. This was a bicentennial edition. They were limited edition. They were numbered. They were signed by the author. Real nice piece from 1975. This book was massive. It was probably 14 by 10 by 4. I mean, it was humongous. Real nice book, just a little bit of wear on the cover. This went for $25 with free shipping. Royal Navy Warship Camouflage from 1939 to 1945. World War II stuff historically does really well. I think I got some more coming up in a few minutes. This was a really interesting book about how the British Royal Navy camouflaged their ships during the Second World War. Paperback, original printing went for $20 with free shipping. This was a really cool piece. The Knights Templar by C.G. Addison. This was, the contents of the book were original from 1874, but someone in a library had rebound this book. So it's not the original binding, the original cover. As you can see in the title, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I've got it right in the title that it's a rebound copy. I put this up at an auction. Only got one bid, but $29.99 plus shipping for a book I own for a quarter. If this had been with its original cover, it would have brought probably 3 or 4 times that money easily. But because it was rebound, it was not worth as much as an original. But still, $30. I will take that. Really interesting book. If you're into military stuff, I've got a ton of stuff listed and more going up. This is Battleships and Battle Cruisers from 1905 to 1970. This was a 1973 hardcover, kind of an illustrated book with like diagrams of all the various battleships and battle cruisers that had been in various navies throughout those years. Really, really nice piece. $34.99 with free shipping. This wasn't listed, but a couple of days and somebody grabbed that. Really, really nice book. This was in excellent condition as well. Sticking with the theme of World War II, The Second World War by Winston Churchill. This was a box set of paperbacks based on a series of books he had written post World War II. Came out in 1961. This was a pretty battered set, but it was complete with the box. The covers were a little worn. The pages were a little yellowed. In excellent condition, this is probably a $50 set, but in the shape this was in, I listed it for $24.99 with free shipping and sold it within a couple of days. This, I don't know how the guys counted it. I counted it as 6 books at 25 cents a piece, so it's on my accounting for a buck and a half. What do you know? More of the same. This is a 1948 Book of the Month Club version of the history of the Second World War. Also, the same set, Winston Churchill. These are the originals published by the Doubleday Book of the Month Club back in the day. Really nice condition. The dust jackets were a little faded and a little yellowed, but the books themselves were in really great shape. Obviously, the hardcovers are worth a lot more than the paperbacks. This went for $69.99 with free shipping. This went out on the global shipping program. This is going to somebody in Europe somewhere. So real nice set. I almost kept these for myself. I've always wanted to read these and I've never got around to it. And I had 2 sets here at the homestead and sold them both within like 48 hours of each other. So I don't know what I was thinking there. This was a really nice sale. This is one, it just kept coming and coming and coming. The guy didn't order these all at once, but he ultimately ordered 4 different books over the span of about 30 minutes. He bought the collected works of William Shakespeare. This was a tabbed edition from 1937. He bought a 10-volume set of the 100 Best Short Stories. It was a Funk and Wagnalls set from 1927. He bought the complete poetical works of John Keats. This was from 1895. And the poetical works of Robert Burns, which was from 1885. So some really, really old books in this sale. He paid $115 for all of it with free shipping. It all went in one kind of 16 by 12 by 8 box. I think it cost me about $8 to ship. So this was, I'm going to say, the flip of the week. It was, these are all books that I own for 25 cents or less. That big Shakespeare book, I think I got 10 cents in that thing. So really nice sale. This kind of stuff, accumulates over time and turns it into a pretty good week. With that, I think we're going to close it for the day. I hope you're having a great week. As always, thank you for stopping by and watching. And now it's time to sell. Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for spending a little time with Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips. If you'd like to spend a little more time, there's another video in the upper right-hand corner. If you'd like to spend a lot more time, you can subscribe down below.